Alright y'all, so today we're going to be working on Mr. Terry that came in today. As you can tell, that's his name, the old name right there. But we started out with the high. I definitely started out with the 7 round liner. And you know I'm always running that 7 volts. So if you don't know, I'm running that 7 volts. Same thing with that name or the word since, because it's really like dope since I think it was 1985 or something like that. But yeah, all the lettering pretty much I did with the 7 round liner. Just sculpted my line. That's how I got the lines a lot more bolder. But now mind you, if it was a situation where the letters was a lot more bolder, I'll just outline with my 7 and I'll come back in with either my 7 curve mag or 15 if that's the case. But I always remember, I always say start at the bottom and move your way up. So I see it said 1982, yeah, dope since 1982. Remember, start at the bottom, move your way up. If anybody have problem with wiping away their stencil, that's your key right there. You're wiping it away because you're going the wrong way. If you start from that top and you work your way down, especially if you're right-handed, you will definitely wipe off your stencil. But if you're left-handed, start from your left-hand side. Whatever your dominant hand is you tattoo with, start from that side. Because if not, you're going to drag across your stencil as you tattoo them by starting from the wrong direction. So while I was tattooing this 1982, I definitely used the 7 round liner, map out all the line work, and I did it letter by letter. As you see, I didn't go throughout the whole thing because that definitely caused more pain. So I map it out with the 7 round liner for that one letter. I come back 7 curve mag and I go to shading in, or sometimes I'll shade it in and then go back and tighten up the outside edges. Even when you think you're done, you're not done. Look over it, because I most guarantee that you will find something, whether it's a little patchiness in the black or if it's just a line that's a little bit off that you could tighten up. There's always something that you're gonna find. But like I said in the most recent video, sometimes you just gotta know when to stop when you done hit the skin too much, because sometimes you definitely can overwork the skin if you're not paying attention to the swelling, the redness of the tattoo. You definitely could easily overwork it if you're applying too much pressure. All those things could play a factor in why you overwork the skin. But one thing that I tell everybody, if you're afraid of overworking the skin, definitely start with your machine slow. Don't start at a high speed. I normally run at 7 volts, but guess what? I said start at 6. If you like already moving pretty fast and you're comfortable with it, cool, keep on moving. But never for beginners to start off at a high speed, because you definitely will rip the skin up, and that's something that you definitely don't want to do, because that's one thing that's really hard to fix, and sometimes it can't be fixed. If you scar the skin and it's constantly lifted up, you could try to cover it and do whatever you want with it, but there's only so much you're going to do, because that scarring gonna always be raised above the previous cover up that you put over it. And don't forget, even when you think you're done, you're not done. Always go around your edges of your tattoo, tighten it up like I'm doing these dates. Go back, tighten it up, wipe it down, take a picture, whatever you need to do. Because I always see something in camera that I don't see straight on with my eyes. So look in the camera, take a picture if you need to, zoom in, whatever you need to do, and you're going to catch some things. That's one thing that you all probably don't know. Ever since I've been streaming now, the monitor on the screen definitely helped me catch a lot more flaws in my tattoos, because I got a third eye basically. I ain't got to keep taking the picture to look down at the tattoo. So I got a third eye, and it definitely catch a lot more things than my eyes can catch. So the whole time doing this tattoo, the 7 round liner has always been in play. I outlined this leaf first, then I came back, 7 curve mag, went to shading it in, make sure it's super solid. I always use the circular motion technique. Always circular motion. I never use pendulum anything to try to get no solid shades. Always small circles. Now mind you, in your case, if you can't get your ink saturated in the skin, make sure your needle's not hanging out too far. Make sure you're not running your machine too high. Or also make sure you're not moving your hand too slow, because if you got a high speed on your machine and your hands are moving too slow, it will definitely try to rip up the skin. But if you're also running at a low speed and your hands are moving too fast, you will not get no ink saturated in the skin at all. It'll just look like you brushing on the skin and no ink is going in. But in this situation, I believe I used the Ambition Ninja for the whole tattoo, and I believe I probably had to turn the machine down maybe 6.5 when I was actually doing some light gray shading, because the machine definitely hits hard. So with light gray shading, I try to run this machine at a slower speed so I can get those smooth shades. Me myself, I'm used to shading with like a 3.2 stroke machine. This is a 4-stroke machine that is a hard hidden 4-stroke machine. And sometimes you could get your smooth shade, you just gotta move your hand real fast with these longer strokes, because these longer stroke machines, they don't play, they hit hard. They didn't come to play at all. They gonna hit hard and get the ink in there real quick. On softer stroke like 3.2, it's gonna give you some wiggle room, some time to build up your tones. That's what's different between a long stroke and a short stroke. Short stroke allows you more times to hit the skin and let it build up, versus a long stroke, once it hit the skin, the ink is going in. No time to try to build up on the skin. It's automatically going saturated. You could lightly hit it to try to build up, but it's going in way faster than a shorter stroke machine. Most times packing black, like inside this dope, I definitely was using my 7 curve mag, left it at 7 volts, and I'm just packing in small circles. I'm also catch myself tilting it to the edges a little bit to try to catch some corners. But like I said, whatever you can't catch with the mag, you can always go back with your liner, tighten up those edges, because you want it to last for a lifetime. You don't want in 10 years your edges to be blurry or fuzzied out. So you want to go back with that liner and always tighten it up. If you see anything looking soft, go back and tighten it up, because if it's looking soft right now, think about how it's going to look 10 years from now. And that's one thing I tell everybody, you're not tattooing for now. They got a lot of people that tattoo for now, just for Instagram pictures, things like that. But you don't want to tattoo for that. You want to tattoo for the years to come, And I already know, like in tattooing, you're going to deal with your cheap clients, things like that. But you as an artist, you have to look at this like this is an investment. So whatever they're paying for, they want this to last, of course. But it's not always true when people say they get what they pay for, If you feel they being too cheap, just don't take the job. You take the job and you mess it up and you just rushing through it. Sometimes that's gonna sometimes, it's all the time. It's gonna fall back on the artist. Anything that is wrong, they're gonna talk about the artist. Your name is attached to every tattoo you do. So keep that in mind and try to do the best job that you possibly can. And I'm also telling you this because I've been there before. When I had a cheap tattoo, I did a tattoo and I feel like I ain't put my all into it. It's also some guilt that's going to be on you, because I know I could have did better. So why am I playing around with doing these little things like that? Even if I did it for cheap, nowadays I'm trying to still give it my all, do above and beyond to make it pop out. And most of the shading that we did around this, we was doing with the 15 curve mag. At first we wasn't going to mess with the name. He was like, just shade around, try to make it look full. He was thought about covering the name, but we wound up just adding this around it. They're like, yeah, I think I just want to go up a little bit more. You see, like, yeah, just see if you can bring it up. And I added that. I really didn't agree with it, but he was like, yeah, bring it up a little bit. But then last minute he decided, oh, how about we do something to the name? Let's try to mess with the name a little bit. Which, you know, it happens. They switch things up, but I'm like, okay, we can go ahead and mess with the name. I could probably freshen it up, make it look a lot better than it is. So I basically just took the Sharpie straight to a drawing there, boom, boom, boom. Did what I had to do, darken it up where you couldn't really see the old name, but it also looked like it was a brand new name. And of course I used my 7 round liner for this throughout the whole tattoo, and I'm always keeping it at 7 volts. That's one thing I learned. You don't really never have to change your voltage on your machine. You really just change your hand speed. So now I try to stick with the same voltage throughout the whole tattoo, change my hand speed when needed. And that's something right there that when I say you gotta tell clients no, sometime I should have told them with that smoke. Nah, bro, we ain't about to do that. We gonna keep it down here, focus on the bottom half of the dome. But eventually he gonna come back and add on. You just never know when they gonna come back to add on. So that's why I say try to work in a small area at a time. That definitely give you more time to focus and lock in on exactly what you're doing. But that name definitely came out a lot better than it was. Y'all seen how it faded and old it was. I didn't worry about trying to do too much. I think I outlined the cross. I ain't trying to do too much to the cross. Like I said, I only charged him a little amount to it. So I was like, I'm gonna fix it up. We gonna shade around it. And by me doing this, it definitely gave him a full quarter sleeve. So the whole bottom of his arm was done. And you already know, next thing to come, I gotta get my pictures for Instagram, whatever social media site I'm posting on. Because one thing for sure, you gotta promote yourself. You gotta put your brand out there. Like I said once before, if nobody don't know what you're doing, nobody don't know of you, how can they get a tattoo from you? So you got to keep that in mind. You got to talk to everybody. So once again, I want to thank you all for watching the video. Hopefully you all learned something with the voiceovers. Let me know how it's going for y'all. Comment it down below how the voiceovers going. I'm going to keep them going if this is helping you all out, helping y'all understand things. But once again, thank everybody that came in. Hope y'all learned something. Y'all stay focused on y'all grind. Keep pushing, keep pushing. Can't stop, won't stop. Like I said, it's repetition. The more you do it, the easier it get. And for those that made it this far, if y'all have any ideas, I know somebody told me about doing the lettering, the drawing, so you can learn how to do lettering. But if y'all have any other ideas, definitely comment it down below so we could definitely get that done for you all.